If this video gets 300 likes, I will not cry myself to sleep tonight. Hell yeah. What's up, my Nimrods? It's Gage coming back at you guys with another video today. I am truly 100,000% thankful that you guys would spend a couple minutes here with me today to talk about a children's card game, so let me not waste too much of your time and let's get right into it. Mega Capital G once said in a video like 3 days ago, I think, that you YouTubers are too scared to share their opinions on cards that should come off the ban list just purely because they want to see them come off.
So usually YouTubers don't really talk about cards that they just want to see come off the ban list because it kind of reeks of personal bias. You usually see them discuss cards they want off the ban list for 3 different reasons. Number 1, a card has been errated in the OCG.
Hey, wait a minute. I did that. Well, challenge accepted, Randall. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about a card that I don't believe deserves to still be on the forbidden and limited list just because of the evolution of the game in the past year has been so substantial, and that card we're talking about today is El Shaddoll Construct. El Shaddoll Construct, originally released in 2014 in Duelist Alliance, is a light fairy fusion effect monster with 2800 attack and 2500 defense. Its requirements to summon it is 1 Shaddoll monster plus 1 light monster, and its effect reads must first be fusion summoned, and if this card is special summoned, you can send 1 Shaddoll card from your deck to the graveyard. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles a special summon monster, destroy that monster. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 Shaddoll spell trap in your graveyard and add it to your hand. El Shaddoll Construct is currently forbidden in both the OCG as well as the TCG, but I do think it's a card that should be considered to be put back to 1 just because of how quickly the game has progressed. And if we put Shaddolls in a vacuum and compare them to today's standard, we have to discuss if whether or not they could actually even hold up to really make this card pull its own weight. El Shaddoll Construct was banned, as well as El Shaddoll Fusion went back to 1 on the same ban list, and this was a massive hit to Shaddolls in general, and it really caught people off guard. This is actually following a very violent format alongside Towers Turbo, as well as decks like Denko Dolls and also Burning Abyss being the trifecta going on in this format. It was actually widely considered, though, at least in my perspective, that Shaddolls were kind of the worst of the bunch here, as its inability to deal with Cleaforts was substantial, and also the Burning Abyss matchup was still kind of 60-40 that point. Of course, it favored Shaddolls a tad bit, but it still was a difficult matchup nonetheless. Towers Turbo was a super scary deck. If we really look back at Cliffort Towers, this card was an absolute powerhouse. I don't even know how this card was ever really printed. Should have never been. This card's disgusting. But this ban list alone immediately and effectively killed off Shaddolls' any hope of moving forward into different formats. Clifforts were still able to make do without Cliffort Towers, just playing regular Clifforts for a little bit. And then Burning Abyss, as we all know, have had a long history of surviving many fucking formats. But as we come up upon a new legacy support card for Shaddolls, everybody is still 100% certain that this deck is not going to see any more form of play as long as El Shaddoll Construct remains forbidden. But why is that? Shaddolls would not be Shaddolls without El Shaddoll Construct, and that is just 100% the case. This card literally makes the deck work. And it's not just because its effect being very good to be able to push more plays into by sending potentially Shaddoll cores or any Shaddolls to the graveyard to be able to get their effects off and then immediately keep following up plays. No other Shaddoll really does that. All the other ones are specifically reactive. For example, Shekinaga requires your opponent to activate a monster effect, which you then can respond to pitch a Shaddoll. El Shaddoll Construct actively on its own allows you to trigger a Shaddoll effect from your deck and activate it. No other Shaddoll cards really do that, except, Shaddoll Fusion when you can activate it from the deck, but that's besides the point. But it's not only because its effect this card is so good, but it's also the conditions used to summon. The fact that El Shaddoll Construct requires a light monster, and the fact that you can, if you're able to trigger Shaddoll Fusion and send from the deck, send a light monster from your deck, opens a plethora of possibilities for Shaddolls in general. Since Shaddolls are dark monsters, cards used back in the day to synergize with the fact that you can send a light monster from your deck to the graveyard. Many cards showed up, such as Eclipse Wyvern or Perform Mage Trick Clown being really good choices to pick from. Eclipse Wyvern was especially cool and probably my favorite to use in the fact that you could banish Dark Arm Dragon and then, of course, banish that and then another monster from your graveyard to add the dad to your hand. It was really easy for graveyard control in the Shaddoll deck, a lot easier than you might think. So dropping dad, once again, was a lot of fun. Trick Clown was also something interesting for people to play if they wanted to play off the beaten path. Very, very powerful card, and the fact that you can make rank 4s if you paired it up with cards like the Black Collapse Serpent or the White Wyver Buster. These were cards that were both played and really facilitated a nice OTK strategy, but also the ability to access your rank 4 toolbox. Like I said, Denko Dolls was kind of the way to counter the Cleefort matchup back in the day, which really focused heavily on just floodgating you out of the game. It was really good at it too. But actually, I guess that was enough to warrant this deck getting rid of its token boss monster. A lot of people were really blindsided by this card going to 0, and people have since then been wanting this card to come back ever since its release. It's pretty much at Stratos territory. A lot of people called out foul play with this, as there were other cards you could easily target in the Shaddoll archetype. El Shaddoll Fusion was one of those, and it did happen to get hit alongside El Shaddoll Construct. El Shaddoll Construct going to 0 just seemed to be rubbing salt into the wound. I really wish we were able to do a lot more with this deck while El Shaddoll Construct was still around. I think there was a lot of potential with the deck moving into later formats, where some formats focused more and more on extra deck monsters, whereas even the format where this card was already gone to us, Nekroz was already dominating, and Nekroz was a deck that really didn't focus on extra deck usage, which really made this deck struggle. So can El Shaddoll Construct come back? That is the question we're asking today, and I wholeheartedly believe it could. A lot of people think that with a card like Fairy Tale Snow released, it's really not the best idea to re-release El Shaddoll Construct for people to be able to abuse that interaction of Shaddoll Fusion to dump Snow plus another Shaddoll monster, but I do think that's not even that big of a deal. With the absolute disappointment that is Shaddoll Construct, the Link monster Shaddoll Construct I'm talking about, if you guys don't know what this card do, let me read it to you guys real quick. Shaddoll Construct requires 2 flip monsters, and during your main phase you can fusion summon 1 Shaddoll Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion materials. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send 1 Shaddoll card from your hand or face up from your field to the graveyard, and if you do special summon this card, you can only use each effect of Shaddoll Construct once per turn. It is a light fairy link monster. Besides the really odd pointers this card has to the left and right, really tarnishing the fact that you're supposed to fusion summon in a Shaddoll deck. Like, what the hell, calling on me? That doesn't even make too much sense. Besides that, this card is not really the greatest, requiring 2 flip monsters, which means it requires 2 Shaddoll monsters. Might not seem that difficult, but it actually isn't the easiest thing to get 2 flip monsters up on the field, unless you're using, of course, Shaddoll Falco to be able to bring it back, and then just do it from there. But even if you bring it out, the card really doesn't do too much, but it would do a lot if you were able to drop El Shaddoll Construct. For the fact that this card in itself is a light monster, I think it would actually be really handy to be able to use it plus any monster in your hand to make El Shaddoll Construct. Can't do that though. Just imagine the fact that if you don't have a Shaddoll Fusion in rotation, being able to drop this to then get into El Shaddoll Construct to then dump a fusion to your graveyard to get one in rotation there, but also then being able to bring this light target back by pitching a Shaddoll monster from your hand after using it to make El Shaddoll Construct sounds really good. I really hope that combo made sense. I don't know, I hope it made sense. This Link monster has a lot of potential despite its Link zones being in the oddest of places. It has a lot of potential if only we had El Shaddoll Construct back to 1. And thus brings us back full circle to the general consensus from everyone that as long as El Shaddoll Construct, this card that has been forbidden for multiple years now and has always been thought of to be brought back, as long as this card remains on the forbidden and limited list at 0, Shaddolls will just never be a deck. Let me know what you guys think of El Shaddoll Construct. Can it actually return? I really sincerely hope it does, but I'd love to hear what you guys think.
That's all, folks.
If you guys liked the video, be sure to like the video, thumbs up the video, how especially you enjoyed the video. If you did like the video, please do consider subscribing to my channel. I'm uploading often, and yeah, that being said, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and please do subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Nim signing out. As I'm making this video, I just now realized that this is, in fact, the 10th video I've uploaded in a row, which is probably actually surprisingly a new record for me. So that being said, I thought I would treat you guys properly, and here is an old video of me twerking to Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's Marriage of Figaro. Please do enjoy.